ritualistic manifestations in Vermont. The ghost of Katie King appeared again.
We're going to Vermont.
Vermont? What is Vermont? The ghost of Katie King appears in...
Who the hell is Katie King?
Henry Olcott, a journalist.
Madame Blavatsky, a writer and a Russian expatriate.
So let me get this straight. You say you were sent here. Sent by whom?
So I'm leaving my station for a chance to be happy, 'cause here I'm fading.
Or maybe these spirits are just a separate order of being, living on this earth but invisible to us, like fairies. I have her letters. You will find there everything you need. Just keep my name out of it.
She is a witch and an imposter. I will prove it.
If these things are true, I wish to know this, to report to my people in London.
Let's say that my work here is being supervised by the Committee of Seven Adepts from the Universal Mystic Brotherhood.
Don't seek the wisdom in outward appearance. Pursue the knowledge, and you will be let into the grand secrets.
So this one's on memory. And I think for me, the memories that hurt the most are the ones that haven't happened yet. The ones that like you can picture so clearly in your mind, but you're just kind of waiting for them to happen and you just hope that you'll get there, I guess. But, you know, like having children or getting married, things like that. And the one that's been like on my mind recently has been this one, you know, where you're at like a restaurant with people that you haven't seen for like 30 years, like high school friends, things like that. And you're all just having dinner and everyone's kind of talking over each other. And everyone's showing pictures of like their kids or their husbands or anything and just sharing what they've been doing while, you know, everyone's been away. And then it's just like, well, something happens and someone kind of leaves, and then there's this big like hole in it. And then you realize that that really just can't happen anymore. But it's not like it goes away quickly either. It takes a long time, I guess, because it's still there. You still are picturing it. You can still see it, but it kind of has to slowly fade out. You know, it's not just something that can come to a quick stop. Even though you want it to stop. You want it to stop hurting. Like, it's not going to happen again, but you can't do that. And so yeah, those are the ones that just really, it hurts. And then out of those ones, though, some new good memories that you never thought would ever happen come, and you meet up with people that you never thought you'd see again, like at a park, and you guys are talking about, like, I don't know, the past and like about your friend that just kind of died, and then you're just seeing each other and being there, and it's like so filled with love about this tragic thing. And it's like, can we even do that? Like, can we have these like good memories? Like, it makes you feel so guilty with that, and like, I don't know what else to really do about it. Like, should I feel guilty about being happy in this like sad moment? And then you just keep it there, and then everyone starts talking again about memories, and everyone starts arguing about what actually happens. And, you know, it's like, well, did that happen? Did I miss something? Like, was that not what actually happened? And have I been thinking about this my whole life, like, wrong? And if so, like, how does that even work? It's like, well, what is it then? What are we actually doing? Why are we thinking about that? And how is it, what's the error? Like, what's the disconnect within that? And my mom and I do this a lot. Last night we just did it. We were talking about Thanksgiving and like corn, and we had to, I was like, Alexa, call grandma. She has to answer this stupid question about corn that even it's so small, it's so stupid. But it's just this small detail that you can't like pick it up. It's not there anymore. And then, you know, it starts to make me question, well, what happened? Why can't we know that? Why don't we remember that? Maybe it's just me. And then people say that it's like, oh, that's not normal to be, you know, thinking about all of these different things. And no, that's not how you should be living, because no, there is something just mentally like wrong with there. And you're not able to see like what is behind this like wall that I guess is right there. And it's like this, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, depression, whatever. It's like blocking something over here, but you can't see through it, I guess, but I can see through it. I can see perfectly clear. Well, almost clear, because like, anyway, my contacts suck, but it's just, I can't see through it, I guess, but that's not what I'm saying. That's what everyone else seems to put on me in that, but it's also just, I can't.
I'm about to go there, y'all.
Hold on there, Daniel. Hold on.
I mean, at a certain point, I think I'm going to have to go, you know what I'm saying, Black Rock Coalition on them. Not even hip hop. Black Rock is worse.
You don't embarrass yourself in front of Zach, right?
He might be.
Really watching.
He might be watching.
Dad.
He's like, yeah. All my phones is off. Okay, well, we'll wait. I'm good.
Audio's back.
Hey, yes. Okay. Now you can hear in fact, you know what? I have said enough, but okay. Here's where we're at. I am Daniel Bernard Roumain, DBR. Least important person in the room. I want to introduce and hear from. Unmic when I introduce you because I want the world to hear from. First up, the amazing Oh No.
Hey y'all, it's Oh No. Thanks for watching tonight and sticking with us.
To the world, Lauren Jimenez. I hope I said that right.
Hi everyone, I'm Lauren and thank you so much for watching tonight.
To the world, the incredible Melanie Home.
Hi everyone, I'm Melanie. Thank you so much for watching and bearing with all of our tech issues in the age of COVID, and we hope you enjoyed it.
To the world, the incredible, the incomparable Shannon Smith.
Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I'm glad that you're still with us.
So excited to introduce our friend, the incredible Avery Polster.
Hi everyone, thank you for tuning in, and I hope all of you enjoyed.
So excited, our friend, your friend now, the unbelievable, undeniable Keegan Carlson.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. What a night it has been, and looking forward to the post-performance discussion.
The one, the only, there is no other, Lana Antropova.
Hi, thank you very much for sticking with us. Thank you for being here.
And we love her, we know her, she is all that and more. LCR, Lady Caress.
Hey there, everybody. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you guys for watching the amazing performers perform. Can't wait to get into the questions.
And a co-lead contributor to the class, to the lab, to the experience. We would be in a very different place without the phenomenal, the internationally renowned Jeff McMahon.
Just think of that as an all-audio art piece.
Yes. And there from day one, before day one, our own incredible Malena Grosz, project manager, producer, general manager, everything to the lab, Malena Grosz.
Thank you all. I'm so happy to be a part of this process for the third year in a row. So proud of this group of students and hope that you enjoyed the performance tonight. Let's get to it.
Let's get to it. And before we do, I want to give a really special thank you to ASU Kerr, like the Marines, like any great cohort of any great collection of artists. They don't leave anybody behind. They push through, a lot of things happening, but that's what a great performing arts center does. We push through together as family. We love you, Kerr Center. You got our back, we got your back. And moving on because we love it. We love you. We love you. All right, so we have some questions that I wanted to ask our contributors in the lab. In our lab, we don't use the word teacher or student. We use the word contributor. We're all contributors to a classroom, lab, and world of ideas. And in that, there's one question that has come up kind of repeatedly in the work. It's a question of inspiration. What inspired you to create your piece for tonight's program? And whoever would like to answer that, go ahead and jump in. But I'd love to start, if it's okay, I'd love to start with Avery. Avery, what inspired you to create this piece for tonight's program? It was incredible. Could you tell us a little bit about the process and what inspired you?
Yeah, well, my piece, This Is Not a Tragedy, was inspired by my attempt at venturing into solo work. And jokingly, there was the idea brought up of eggs all across the stage, and that image and visual really stuck to me. And as I looked deeper into it, I saw the eggs as a representation of uniformity. I saw them as a representation of the shells that we wear and the identities we carry. I saw them as something that can feel movement, as something fragile, something delicate, something that's cyclical. And I kind of let all these concepts build into my body and research these concepts into kind of a task-based score using that imagery.
And it was so clear. Those eggs and your pas de deux with them, you're partnering through them. It was, I just think, and I think I've said this to you before, I think it's the kind of piece that I think is timeless. I'm so interested in what this piece can mean a year from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 30 years from now. And I'm just so glad it was captured tonight. Can you talk a little bit, Keegan, because you were the filmmaker for the piece, and I'm just interested in that collaboration.
Yeah, it was a really interesting and almost difficult kind of collaboration because it was all one take, and this was actually we only did it twice. This was on the second take, and I actually had to go around all the eggs. So I'm trying to do the camera movement and going around all these eggs, and we had not choreographed any of it. So the camera movement was, we kind of blocked it a couple times and then just went for it. And
did all the eggs survive?
Well, actually, at the very end of the second take, I did crush like the only raw egg we had on stage. Like literally there was only one raw egg, and I stepped right on it, and then I tracked raw egg throughout the whole Gammage stage. But
I feel for you.
But it was a really great challenge, and in conjunction with Avery's piece and kind of the vulnerability that he had in it, and myself kind of feeling almost vulnerable filming it, it added kind of a whole nother level that as an artist I was able to take away from it as well, for sure.
What's a beautiful testament to both of you, and I'm so glad that it was just so lovingly shot, and it I'm also interested in how you worked with Melanie and this notion of scale. On the one hand, Avery's piece was filmed on the Gammage stage, which is a massive stage, and you were also with Melanie in a sacred place, if you will, right? A synagogue, I think. Melanie,
Yeah.
can you talk a little bit about that process, and then Keegan, I'll bring you back for that too.
Sure. Well, first of all, I just want to thank Keegan for his awesome work. I just, out of sheer nerves, I was like, I'm not going to watch it until today. And so I'm just going to put my faith and trust in him because I love his work and I love what I've seen. And I'm not going to micromanage something I don't understand. So it was very vulnerable for me to say, I'm going to trust someone to do the job that I know that they're really, really trained to do. That was a big, like, okay, give up some type A control there. And then it was also super fun to sing in the space. I personally love singing in very out of the box areas where opera usually isn't performed. And so anytime that I get to go into a really unique space like that synagogue, which has a really cool history and is actually has some ties to Steven Spielberg even. I mean, wow. Really cool history that I didn't even know prior to last Wednesday. And it was really fun to get to work with Keegan and work with Malena to play with the space and play with dimension and play with shape. There's the jump down from the stage that, we threw in there because Keegan was like, this can look really, really cool. And I'm like, all right, let's make it work. So I loved being able to have that faith and trust in their abilities and also get a chance to experiment in a space like that and work with people safely, socially distanced in person too, which is a rarity these days. So it was just such a gift.
So glad you mentioned that. So important. Everyone was safely distanced. People were wearing masks inside the Gammage stage. Everything was done by state regulations and creatively, to great creative effect. I know, Malena, you want to talk about the synagogue.
I just have a quick comment of like big shout out of gratitude to Michael Levine for letting us use that synagogue space at the last minute. He wasn't even in town, found another friend to come open the space for us so we could do that shoot. So big thanks to him.
Thank you so much.
We, ASU Gammage gave us guidance on what we needed to follow as far as shooting off of campus. That was our one shoot off of campus. And then Jeffrey over at Gammage was really helpful with getting all the regulations to us and kind of helping us keep in mind the guidelines to keep each other safe and still share space and make art. It was really great. So huge thanks to Lisa at Gammage for hosting us there, and Michael Reed.
Yes, big shout out to the ASU Gammage family and Michael Reed, Colleen Jennings Rogensack, Lisa and Jeff and everyone there. And a big shout out to Jared and Caitlin, our own Caitlin Booth tonight, and Stacy and Tracy at ASU Care Center. Shannon Smith, want to turn to you now because I know that you did work with Lana as a filmmaker and in partnership, but I want to focus on your work just a bit. And I'm curious what inspired the work, and what are some of the other thoughts and gifts of behind the scenes knowledge that you can give our audience concerning your piece and this wonderful use of text and storytelling and really compelling and vital movement that you had? What can you tell us about your work?
Yeah, well, so this work I've been thinking a lot about just inspiration, and I think for this one, a big thing was the transformation that happened within all of it, I guess, and kind of seeing how inspiration and transformation like really kind of overlap within this piece. And so I think that this piece, Trauma Sponge Memory, really dives into emotions and like things that would come up in therapy. And so the movement and text is actually improvised within it. I had a rough like outline of it that I just kind of improved each time we took the take, and we discovered that like it's very difficult to capture improvisation with 3 different takes and like all the editing process that goes into that, because each take isn't the same, and so trying to layer that on, it is a different process. And so yeah, with this one I think it also took a lot for me emotionally to continue running through this. Originally my piece didn't have any spoken word or anything like this in it, and then I had a tragic thing happen the week before I was supposed to film it, and so I was just trying to figure out a way, how am I going to perform this piece? How am I going to be able to do that in 3 days after finding out that one of my close friends had passed? And so yeah, that kind of, I guess we could call it inspiration, but I guess that's where I see it more as a transformation into what I needed to do to be able to perform it while still maintaining the integrity of the work and not letting that, not just pushing it aside and not let it affect me, because I want to feel what's happening in my current body, especially in a state of improvisation. I feel like that presence is needed.
Yes. Well, we're so sorry for your loss, and I think it's a beautiful way as an artist, as a brilliant artist, to mourn and to reflect and to honor. I think there's a lot of people out there who can relate to that and are finding that that void filled with your artistry and even what you just said. So thank you so much for that, Shannon. It's really important. And Lana, your film trailer was just beautiful and had so many parts about it, so many facets to it. Can you tell us a little bit about how that worked and the music, and what was it like to work with Shannon in the space as well?
Daniel, I'm sorry, you were talking to me?
Was talking to you. Yes. I was asking you about your beautiful
It is very
trailer.
hard to hear.
Oh, can you hear me now? Is that better? Is that better?
Yes, it's better. It was very quiet. Yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Okay. Let me, I got into that mode. I'm still so moved by Shannon's words. I was saying, Lana, what can you tell us a little bit more about your film and the trailer that you created and the soundtrack for it? And what was it like to work with Shannon in the pace and capture her so movingly and brilliantly and beautifully? What was the process of all those two
Oh,
projects?
okay. Well, it was very interesting working with Shannon. I'm a movie director and producer. Um, well, it was very interesting to film her piece, and I admire what she does and uh, the whole thought process that went into her piece. So yeah, we were trying to find some kind of angle how to do it, and we decided to film it from one angle and to film it going around. Um, but yeah, she does it differently every time, so it was very interesting too. And as of my piece, so it's just a trailer for a 19-minute feature film that I will be releasing hopefully by the end of this year, which is kind of already the end of the year. So, well, very soon. And the film is called The Day of the White Lotus. So I've been working for several years on this film, writing script and filming it and editing and doing visual effects. So it would be very, very exciting to finally finish it and release it.
Well, check. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. We are looking forward to it, and we are really excited by the work that you're doing and everyone is doing in the lab, and how multidisciplinary work or even interdisciplinary work is so vital to the work of Ono. And Ono, could you take us through the process and what inspired you for this piece? Because it seemed really beautifully united and unified. But there were many parts, moving parts, sonic parts, and I'm just so curious about how did you put all of these parts together into one seamless flow?
Yeah, as a researcher, I'm really excited by the challenge of using technology as more than a tool, and so sort of use technology as a central expressive collaborator. So thinking about centering the work, eliminating all the usual staging elements that you have in traditional theater. So it really is moving my work more into the realm of performance art, probably. But everything that you heard and saw was puppeteered, and I'm using that word really intentionally, puppeteered by this little device here. And a little behind the scenes knowledge is initially this project was supposed to have Wiimotes that were going to orchestrate the music live and then also paint or compose the imagery as well. But technical difficulties, as we know, happen and things change. And luckily, Xavier Noquez was a collaborator and friend that I know who created this device that allowed me to eliminate the middleman. So anytime that you can get rid of the middleman, do that. So I was able to sit down and use this device in one specific program that allowed me to create a composition. And a lot of those gestures for composition were really small and minimal. But then using the same tool in a different program to calibrate or orchestrate the visuals, I'm really able to use much more gestural strokes. So I like to think of this as the first foray in thinking about techno puppetry, thinking about how can we use devices and manipulate them with our hands, with our bodies, but that orchestrates something much larger than ourselves. So I'm sort of emerging and growing out of my previous history as a large-scale puppeteer, and now sort of eliminating all that stuff. So thinking about how can I take up the most performance space possible with just my body.
Well, it's riveting to watch and to listen to and to follow and to be witness to. It truly is. Lauren, can you tell us a little bit about your piece? I was just transfixed by it. I thought it was the perfect way to open up the show and bring us into your world. What can you tell us about that world?
Yeah. So for me, this piece was more, I approached it in a much more selfish way. It was a personal like exploration of how I kind of my body embodied the changes that the pandemic has brought, whether it be physically, not dancing in a studio for months has taken its toll on my body for sure, but also emotionally. And I feel like, but with that, I'm not alone. So a bunch of the movement that was created was based off how I personally have had to deal with the changes. So yeah, like a lot of tension. I focus on tension, like a sense of like kind of like a pull and release, and like what happens after emotions are built up for so long. Yeah.
So true. I mean, I think that this is a kind of a captivity, and Lady C, you've been with us since day one. You were in the lab last year. You're a graduate, doing brilliant things in our community on so many fronts. You came in working with Jeff, and Malena. Can you tell us a little bit about what it was like for you to come back as a proud graduate of DBR Lab 2020? This is, by the way, DBR Lab 20. I don't know. We haven't figured out the dates. This is 2022. But what was it like to be there last year? Now you're here with us teaching this year. And what's your thoughts on all that?
Yeah, when I came into DBR Lab, I was actually a solo artist, and I was on the road by myself, and creating by myself, and I loved being able to first find a community, right? Just like so many times as artists, we're always in the space of nobody understands me, right? And that's one of the things I absolutely loved about the lab, was the fact that it was a community, it was a space where everyone was an artist, right? And we were all from different disciplines, all different backgrounds. And to be able to find that was absolutely amazing. And it was just great being able to collaborate. Now, hindsight, right? Now that I've graduated from the lab this year, and then coming back and seeing these students, the possibilities are endless. And what I'm excited about is that you're able to evolve even in a space where, we were doing live shows last year. We were performing at Mesa Arts Center, National Sawdust in New York, actually having those live stage feels. And even students were able to be live on stage. That audience being able to be there is something we've had to shift from. But that creativity, again, the amount of work that's able to go into the lab with all these different people coming from different disciplines and backgrounds. I mean, Keegan, you're awesome just filming as well, but as an artist outside of it, you know what I mean? And each of you have your own things that you add. And I'm inspired, right? Just by being in the presence of artists, but then even because I'm not the one creating this time, I'm sitting back and I'm watching it. And it is just beautiful to me to see what you guys have done in such a short period of time, even though we can't be in the same space. And just, it blows my mind what creative people can do when they get together and just really go for it. So it's just amazing.
So agree. Want to come out, Lady C, just love it. Love the energy and the tone. And she called you out, Keegan. What is projection mapping, my brother? What is that? She called you out. Love to hear more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, so the kind of inspiration for that last semester, this is my third semester in the lab. And last semester, I actually submitted a proposal to Daniel and Malena for this technology, for the projection mapping technology. And over the summer, I ended up getting a scholarship, which allowed me to, I got actually the Special Talent Award through the Herberger Institute. And I was able to buy that technology that I wanted to get. And so for this semester, I incorporated learning the interface through Lightform projection mapping and Lightform Creator to apply that kind of new medium, projection mapping, and apply that to my technical filmmaking practices from my film degree here at ASU. So it's all kind of in an effort to down the road, the bigger picture, working with companies commercially to create advertisements using this projection mapping technology for product placement and promotional sort of applications. So just super excited. You can even use this projection mapping for live events, concerts. The possibilities are endless. So I'm super excited to dive in and use kind of the film and the cinematic background and kind of tie it together with this new kind of technical virtual reality, augmented reality kind of medium.
And Professor Jeff, thank you for that, Keegan, so much. Just love your work. And also as a photographer, I want to let everybody know that one of Keegan's brilliant photographs was the inlay the second page of the Association for Performing Arts and Professionals National Magazine. And it was featured in there. And again, just wonderful work that is out into the world. And speaking of the ASU, oh, Keegan, did you want to say a few words?
I just had to say that was in collaboration. That project was in collaboration with you, Daniel. So I just wanted to thank you. You did the custom score for that, which completely elevated that piece with the coronavirus and the Herberger statues downtown Phoenix. So
That's right.
I want to shout out for you.
Well, thank you. That's right. It's called Humanity in Us. It's a short, brilliant film that the music was already there. I just kind of plucked it out. Check that out online. And Professor Jeff McMahon, you've been at ASU for so many years, leading. You are in the theater. You are in the School of Music, Dance, and Theater, along with myself. And I'm just, first of all, so thankful for this collaboration. We met on a panel for an applied project, actually for the great Caress Russell. And it was so clear then and even before when we had met that you were someone that I wanted to work with and co-lead or co-contribute to the lab. And I'm so glad that you came in and really made it a much more special, a much more intense, and a much more precise experience for us all. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like for you, and what do you think of these incredible contributors and the work that was done here? Yeah.
I think what's really exciting is seeing all the different iterations of these pieces and seeing how they change. And I think also one of the things that happened in this workshop was oftentimes in teaching, you're sort of afraid, like, oh God, where could this go? Or do they know what they're doing? And I think you set up this environment in the lab where it's like, no, we trust you. You know, your colleagues, we trust you. Yeah, there's a ledge over there, but I think you see it. And you figured out that there's an ocean you're going to fall in and you're going to swim over there. So, and that's just a very different process than some other classes and some other kind of lab situations that aren't really labs. And I think what we saw tonight showed that. And I'm also just want to remind people that in many cases, these are bits of things that are going to be larger, that are going to go on, that are going to further change, like might do 360-degree revolutions, I don't know, but they're going to continue to develop next semester and then onward. So it's just been a really great also to have a class. We talk a lot about co-teaching at ASU, but this really happened. Plus, it's the contributors that are also co-teaching. So it's, you know, Caress and me and Malena and Daniel, but it's also all of you, and that's impressive, and it's important. So thank you.
Thank you. I want to let our audience know that we had some challenges tonight, and to be fair to the brilliant work that is both singular and collective, we are going to be rebroadcasting tonight completely glitch-free in the coming weeks. So please we will be inviting everyone back, and we look forward to doing this again and sharing this experience with you in its totality. Please follow DBR Lab on your social media networks and on Facebook and on Instagram. Please follow DBR Lab on YouTube, and please follow the individual, vital, and brilliant artistry of Ono, Avery Polster, Melanie Holm, Shannon Smith, Keegan Carlson, Lana Antropova, and Lauren Jimenez. They are truly are leaders in our field and will continue to lead in our field. Please watch their work in the coming weeks and months and years. I'm a fan. I am so grateful for your work. Malena, I am so grateful for our continued collaboration. I want to give you another hand for all that you do. Jeff McMahon, thank you so much, sir. Looking forward to round 2. Lady Caress, we don't stop. I can't announce this publicly. Lady Caress and I, our next project will be for the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., responding to a photograph, an iconic photograph by my memory escapes me, but tune into the next show to bring it. Do you remember, Chris? I'm totally blank.
You'll get it right for the public announcement, okay? Even though this
No,
is not a public announcement.
No, I like the plug. Tune in next week.
Today,
for a little
right.
more
So sorry, I can't believe I'm totally forgetting this incredible photographer's name. But we are doing a musical portrait for, and Caress and I are both being commissioned by the National Gallery of Art in Washington D.C. to do that. But we are all part of this immersive experience. It is a class, it is a lab, it is an immersive experience. And there is another chapter to this lab that will be happening next semester in the spring. But at the same time, tonight's concert was a real testament to the vitality and the endurance and the unabashed ability for artists to respond to a moment, have place and presence in a space, and can have the courage and the audacity to create in a time of crisis and conflict. When all else seems hopeless or lost, and when politicians and pundits oftentimes fail us, artists, these artists have always and will always lead the way. Lead the way. Thank you so much for tuning in tonight. And the rebroadcast date will be set out in just a few days to everyone. We're going to work that out, and we're going to invite all of you and your friends and family to watch, and we'll do a post-performance discussion again. Hey, maybe I'll play a little bit. Caress, maybe you'll do your thing a little bit. Jeff, maybe I'll get you to do your thing a little bit, because we're all equal. This is all about love, love, love. And I'll say again, what the world needs right now is the love, love, love of DBR Lab, Lab, Lab. Peace be with you. May the universe protect you and offer you blessings. Holiday season to you all. Celebrate the people who deserve it, and, to the others that don't. Love, love, love. And see you again very soon.